Oh, we're live?
Hey!
Hey. Oh, we gotta be professional today. We can't do our regular stuff. Right, let me just get this off first.
Oh, Ray's got all out of focus.
Oh, there's an echo again. Where's the echo coming from? It's me.
It's you.
Where's it coming from?
It wasn't supposed to be an echo.
It's coming from your voice as well.
Yeah, it's from yours, man.
Okay, am I talking? Is it coming from me?
Are you muted?
Yeah.
I'm muted, yeah. And my phone's completely switched off. Jose, can you still hear the echo? Damn. It could be that my voice is going through your mic as well.
I don't have a mic.
Oh, you don't have a mic?
No. Just a
What could it
second.
be? Jose, have you got our audio? You've got earphones on as well, haven't you?
It was fine a second ago.
Yeah, it was fine a second ago. So what could have changed?
Are you watching the video on YouTube?
Jose, are you watching the video on YouTube? Have you got it playing anywhere? Are you watching the video on YouTube? Okay. Any ideas? Okay. Let me see if I can take these off. Has that done any better?
Now it's way better.
So it's my earphones that were causing the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll find the problem.
So I'm not going to be able to hear I'm not going to be able to hear Mr. Blanco then, because my earphones keep putting that echo in.
Do you have those one?
I don't.
The echo's back.
It's back.
What's going on?
How about now? Is that back? Is it better?
I can hear better.
Is this better?
It was fine a second ago. That's interesting. Well, so do we have a YouTube audience? Do we have people on live at the moment? Are we live?
Yes.
We are live. Oh, hi.
How is the audio then?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. We are having a few technical difficulties, and I decided to enjoy some cake. So please bear with us. While Alex, in his infinite technical wisdom, panics his way through this.
Okay, are we ready? There's a huge echo.
How are we looking?
Can you mute your Zoom?
My
Not
Zoom.
mute.
I'll switch my Zoom off.
No, your Zoom is not mute.
My Zoom is muted. There's nothing on. There's nothing coming on from there.
Now yours is
I've
perfect
switched
right
off
now.
Zoom as well.
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Now yours
So maybe
is
we had
perfect
too many
right
Zoom
now.
sessions in one room. So the only person that's going to be able to hear Mr. Jose Blanco is you then, basically.
Okay.
So, and our audience, effectively.
You can watch YouTube.
I can watch YouTube, but I won't be able to listen to the audio because it's just gonna. So do I have to use those headphones?
Well, you can plug your headphones in.
Just plug it into the mixer, right?
No.
Okay, I can't plug this in.
It's into these.
It's into that. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we finally start? Yes.
Check out.
As usual. As usual, a lot of technical stuff with us. Sorry, guys. Bear minus. So let's start. Usman.
Ray's gone all blurry now.
Has it gone all blurry? Oh, for God's sake. It should be on manual autofocus.
Yeah, one of those days.
So put it on manual focus, and then you should be able to focus from there.
Yes.
Ray is no longer blurry.
Yeah.
So on YouTube,
Oh.
it's Cigar Rants, right?
Yes.
YouTube, it is Cigar Runs, yes. Sorry, this is the first time that we're doing a Zoom session along with a live session, so we're kind of adding a number of layers onto this.
Yeah.
And we were expecting to have some technical difficulties, and I apologize that it's happened with
Don't
you.
worry,
So
no problem.
so please accept our apologies, and thank you for
No,
being so
no problem.
patient. Oh, you're very kind. I think we're ready. How are we
Yes.
looking?
We are looking good.
We're looking good? Amazing. Alex, these headphones are ridiculously huge. What kind of headphones have you given me, man? I look like a freaking clown right now. Thank you for that.
Well, if you could have brought normal headphones, plug in.
Come on.
No, welcome back to the channel, to another live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. We have an industry freaking legend with us today. It is the one and only Jose Blanco. We're properly excited about having him join us for this live session. Ray's been super excited as well. You know, he's come in like the fanciest suit that he owns. I think I should have dressed up, but I apologize. I'm sorry. But you know that I kind of dress up like this on a regular. I just don't have any class. So that's just who I am. But yeah, we have the one and only Jose Blanco joining us. And we're going to be talking about a number of things. A lot of Jose's history, the stuff that Jose's done within the industry. And if you've got any questions specifically for Jose Blanco, by all means, please leave them in the comments section. You know, as far as I'm aware, there are no questions that are off limits. Jose, is that correct?
It all depends. If there's one off limit, I'll just say, no hablo
No,
inglés.
español. I love that one.
Fair enough, perfectly reasonable. So before we get into the interview or whatever, let's talk about what the cigars we're smoking. So I'm smoking a Fuente, obviously.
Well, there's a guy on the call which actually can explain what we're smoking.
Yes.
Jose, what we smoking?
He's not going to be in focus for yours.
It
I'm
looks,
guessing.
I don't know, it looks like a Magnum. That's what
Yes.
it looks
Yes.
like. Yes,
It is
looks
Magnum
like a
Churchill.
Yes, that cigar is, even though I have to say, because I'm honest, my favorite size on the line is the 44. But they're all, to me, what I pick up is spice. I pick up some earthiness. To me, it's very complex, very balanced, very aromatic, very well constructed. Just an amazing cigar.
Well, this is my first time smoking this particular Fuente, so I'm really looking forward to it. And Ray, thank you so much for bringing this. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's your birthday. You know, guys, today is Usman's birthday. Trust me, you know, it's happy birthday, Usman.
no.
But you know, the funny thing I'm going to say, the way Ray is dressed up, I think he's dressed up to go to some bank for a loan.
Now, I'm always respect the people who are watching this, and I'm always dressed up nice. And yeah, it's an Usman birthday. That's why I'm with my birthday bow tie. But it's a lovely cigar. I haven't smoked it for the first time, so I enjoy them. It's one of my, as I say, one of my favorite from the non-opus lines, and Churchill is one of my favorite vitolas. So I'm really going to enjoy that.
My uncle loves the Don Carlos. Absolutely.
Alex,
adores
what
it.
are you smoking?
I'm not smoking anything right now.
What are you going to start smoking in a minute?
Fuente Personal Reserve, Don Carlos Personal Reserve.
Oh my God! Now we're talking.
Now
we're
it's-
Now we're talking.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's one of my all-time favorite cigars by Don Carlos. For many years, this was the cigar that he smoked. He smoked that Robusto for many, many years. And after Don Carlos passed away, Carlito took the liberty to make it commercial. But it's an amazing cigar. The sweetness of Cameroon, the spice, the balance, the aroma. I mean, it's one of my top cigars of all times, the Don Carlos. I smoked it a couple of times before when Don Carlos was alive. He would see me, always when I go pick up people at the airport, and he would always ask me, Blanco, you got a lighter? I said, Don Carlos, yes, of course. He would light up and take out of his pocket one of his Robustos and give it to me. So I've been smoking the cigar for a while, and now that's commercial, it's an amazing cigar.
So Alex got extra brownie points for picking the right cigar, huh?
I actually can't hear a word Senor Blanco says.
You hear them. You can hear them later. It's only positive stuff, trust me. Yeah.
The man has good taste.
Us, man, because his don't work.
Yeah, he's the newest person in the team, but he have a taste already. He know what to smoke. So.
Also, man, you look silly with that on your face now. Like, backwards or something. Your back, not forward.
Usman wants to make a fire. Oh,
It went too fast.
I'm sure, Jose, you never been on a show like ours. You know, we are serious, but at the same time we do a lot of funny stuff in the show. So that would be one of.
So, let me just light this up because I need to start the cigar. Otherwise, I'm going to start
nice.
catching fire. So, Jose, what are you smoking? I can't actually see.
I am smoking a Rothschild Gran Reserva. I didn't want to really go on anything very, very long because I've already had 2 cigars in the day. I'm down to 2 because, I'm a COVID survivor. And how would you say it's, everybody who knows me, and I've been saying this for 35 years, it's Cameroon is by far my all-time favorite rapper. And now being able to work with Jeremiah and Josh and the Marifel family, it's been like a dream come true. So really amazing family to work with.
The Cameroon wrapper is quite prominent in a lot of the Arturo Fuente cigars as well, I've noticed, especially in the Opus series.
No, Opus is 100% Dominican.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
I clearly read that wrong then. So, you've been in the industry for such a long time. It's almost 50 years now you've been in this industry, and the amount of knowledge you've kind of gained is just insane. I mean, there's a reason why they call you the professor, because you've managed to gain a lot of what's that sound? Is that my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. I hate
Rookie
phones.
error.
So you've been in the industry for such a long time, and you've gained such a huge amount of knowledge and expertise. You've got your own cigar line, which you handed over to your wife, I believe. Could you tell us a little bit about that particular cigar brand that you started up?
Well, the problem was, remember, I worked for La Aurora 30 years, then I retired. Then I was the vice president of Joya de Nicaragua for 2 years. Then I consulted a year. Then we started this project that was doing exceptional, very well. But what happened? When the FDA announced that they were going to test all the cigars, that you had to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through that, I said no. She continues doing her sales and has a lot of clients, but now I'm dedicated 100% because even though all the rulings of the FDA have changed, but when I made the decision in 2016, we all thought it was a done deal, and I was one of the first ones to do it, and I'm very, very happy that, a lot of people did not follow my footsteps and have kept going. But at the same time, we still have a lot of things pending with the predicate date with the FDA that it seems for the next 2 or 3 years, a lot of people are going to get a break, but that was something that I was not going to get into $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in fees and testing and things like that. So it was a great experience, but now I'm just dedicated. Well, after that, I took 3 years as vice president for Ernesto. I thought I was going to retire, but then I was going to come live here in Europe, and Carlito and I, who have been friends for many, many years, we worked something out, and I'm very, very happy.
So, what was the actual ruling from the FDA that made such a change for you?
Well, the ruling was, it's called the predicate date. The first ruling was 2007. And anything that was made after 2007 would have to go through a lot of testings. Let's say you would have a company with let's say 100 SKUs, and all of a sudden you got to pay for the testing. Let's say an average of $3,000. So right away you're talking about $300,000 on something with the FDA that you don't know what really is going to happen. And then they said also they gave a date of the August 8th of 2016, anything that's come out of that. And we've seen hundreds and hundreds of brands and new companies that have come out of that. Look, to be honest, I wish everybody luck, but people keep forgetting about the ruling of the FDA.
I guess, well, the FDA is going to rule over that, and if you don't follow those rules, then it's just going to cause problems. So I can imagine. Was it, because you mentioned something, Ray, about a cigar that Mitchell had, which he said was the best he ever smoked.
Yes, Jose, we make an interview with Mitchell Orchant. I know you know very well. We made the interview like a couple months ago, I believe, something like that. And I asked Mitchell a question, very interesting question. I asked him, is there a cigar which someone give it to you in some point and you smoke the cigar and say, wow, that was mind-blowing, without knowing what is the cigar? And he said, actually, yes. There was a cigar been passing him from a friend in the States somewhere, and he told me that cigar is actually your wife's cigar. He was mind-blowing with that cigar. Without knowing anything.
One of the cigars that he mentioned, he was on the show the other day, that Carlito was doing, was the cigar that Carlito made for the launch of Hublot in London, and he said that probably that is one of the top 3 cigars he's ever smoked in his life. It was an opus that, for Mitchell to say it was so memorable, I mean, it's just amazing.
As I say, I didn't expect it. It's when you say that one, and I say, oh, then I need to find some, but probably not going to be able. Even with my ability to find rare stuff and interesting cigars, probably won't be much easy for me to find that kind of cigar. But who knows? Maybe one day. I have a more technical question, as you said, because I know you are probably the best person to ask for that. And usually people ask me some kind of questions like that, but I'm not able to answer them because I'm not in that experienced all by mean. And one of my hardest question to explain to the people is usually when they ask me how you can improve your palate as a tasting. You can read in every magazine, in every tasting, some people find all kind of weird taste, aromas and everything, but it was for a new smoker, how you can start develop your palate and find that tastes?
Look, this is the problem that many new smokers and even old smokers encounter. Sometimes you walk into a lounge and there's 5 people smoking the same cigar, and this guy's saying, well, I'm picking up medium to full. The other guy says, no, I'm picking up medium. The other guy says, it's mild for me. Some guy's picking up spice. Some guy's picking up sweetness. Some guy's picking up hints of cocoa, leather, cedar, all that. Because what people don't understand is the taste is subjective. What you eat, what you smoke, if it's hot, if it's cold, everything affects that. So what you start off with the guy that's lighting up for the first time, you try to recommend him 2 or 3 cigars, mild, tell him always to look something creamy, something favorable, very flavorful. Because one of the main things is that smokers, and it's not only in Europe, it's all around the world, people tend to confuse flavor with strength. You can have a mild cigar that's full flavor, and you can have a cigar that's just strength. So for people, first of all, to develop their palate, you cannot start smoking an Opus or a Cuban or Joya de Nicaragua cigars that will probably blow you away. You start off Connecticut, mild, creamy. You smoke 2 or 3 of them. You smoke those 2 again, 2 of the 3 again. And then you, and your mindset, go and say, am I missing something? And probably what you're missing is just a little bit more of strength. Because remember, at the end of the day, the most important thing is flavor. So then you go from mild to medium, medium to full. And then you try to go and see if you can handle a full body. And then you go little by little. Now, on this subject of developing palates, which is another aspect from the person that's starting to learn about smoking, you will never ever totally develop your palate if you only smoke one brand or one country. For you to develop your palate, you have to smoke different cigars from different countries. Even if you're smoking, if you love Nicaragua or you love Dominican, you have to smoke different cigars then, because each blender has different characteristics, different signatures of what they create. So if you only smoke one country or 1 or 2 brands, you'll never be able to develop your palate. And what's worse is that you're missing the boat, because there's a lot of great cigars out there.
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah,
that's why I smoke so much different stuff. I can't just carry on smoking Cubans or Nicaraguans or Dominican. I just need to mix them all the time. You know, that's what make it interesting for me. And it's great. I can't agree more.
So you've had a number of changes in terms of your positions and the companies that you work with. You've worked with Hoy de Nicaragua, you've worked with La Aurora, you've worked with EP Carrillo, and currently you're working with Fuente. In your kind of history, I mean, this may be kind of a vague question, but if you were the last two, I mean, the latest 2 companies that you work with are EP Carrillo and Fuente. If you were to kind of look at how each company operates, both companies have got extremely popular cigars, cigars that are winning awards regularly. If you were to kind of, are there any particular things that you learned from EP Carrillo which you would wish that is done at Fuente and vice versa?
No, because I'll tell you why. Ernesto and Carlito have been friends for more than 40 years. And I consider them both great blenders, great creators. And what I did learn from Ernesto was, even though with all my years of blending and making award-winning blends and all that, was the importance of the binder. And I concentrated more on fillers and concentrated more on wrappers than I did with fillers. But with Ernesto, I learned a lot, and we both, what the hell is this that popped up here? Okay. We learned a lot. Like I said, I learned the importance. Sometimes we were working on a blend, and Ernesto would give it to me, and I would say, I think it needs like maybe half a leaf of more sweetness or half a leaf of more, a little bit of that. And what Ernesto would play around a lot with could be maybe a leaf of some tobacco, but he always focused a lot on the wrappers. Now with Fuente, even though I've been with them a year, I got to be honest about this. Even though I've been in the factory, but I've not really been working on the blending part with Carlito. Who knows in the future if we could, work on something together. But right now, it's in the plans. They work very similar in a lot of stuff because they believe in the old-fashioned way. Make the cigars entubado, do the fermentation correct, do the aging well, and without a doubt, both companies. Ernesto and Carlito have won many times. I don't know how many times second place, 3 or 4, at least 3 times each one on first place, recognized worldwide as two great companies. Now, one thing I do have to say is that I never, never, ever intended, and now at my age, I'm on my last 9 years with Carlito, that I've always worked with family-owned companies, because big corporations, you're a number. And with all the companies that I work with, I was not a number. I was a person that was respected. I was a person that I was addressed to. I was a person that I was led to do whatever I needed to do to bring the company to where it is.
Whoa, it's an amazing history, an amazing story. Okay, I'm not gonna mentioning Carrillo and Ernesto's production and the stuff. Recently, he produced few amazing cigars. I believe you smoke all of them, and probably you enjoy them. Do you have any favorite cigar of Carrillo, actually?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm a big fan of La Historia, a big fan of Encore. I think he did an amazing job with the pledge, but one that I might have a couple left. It didn't get it got a huge rating, but it wasn't number one and number two. It was something that he created that was called Dark Ritual. I mean, that's without a doubt one of the best cigars I ever smoked in my life. I might have 2 or 3 left.
Yeah, that was interesting choice. Nice. I would like to say hello to Jeremiah Merafel. I just seen him. He watching us in the YouTube, and it's a great honor to have him on the channel and watching us. So,
well,
yeah.
the king of Cameroon is with us today, and I mean,
I do have a question.
I hope that one day Jeremiah will be. He has a very, very, very busy schedule, and he's dealing with a lot of stuff. But maybe in the future, we could have him on the show, because if there's a person, if there's a family that has a story to tell, is the Merafel family. I'm not going to talk about that. I will leave it for one day when Jeremiah comes, because I've known him since he and his brother Josh were 12, 13 years old. I knew his father and I knew his grandfather. And I mean, the respect that I've had for that family before working with them. And if dreams come true, you know, a dream was to work with Carlito and Jeremiah, which, to be honest, it doesn't get better than that. I don't care what anybody says.
It will be absolute pleasure if he wants to join us in the future in the show and actually be our guest. As I mentioned to you when we having the conversation before the show, I just want our first guest to be really, in my opinion, you are the biggest person in the industry at the moment. You're one of the living legends, and that's why I want you for the first guest. I have a huge respect for you and the job you've done, and you continue doing the stuff. So definitely Jeremiah will be in our plans. Of course, I'm hoping he will wants to join us and have a talk with us. Despite our technical issues which we have in the beginning and stuff, we're getting stronger and stronger.
I do have a question. In regards to the binder, so one of the things you mentioned was that the binder is something that was it Ernesto who told you that is extremely important. What's the importance of the binder? Because in general, a lot of people tend to overlook it, and I don't think a lot of. I mean, I thought, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought the binder was just a few leaves put together just to kind of hold things together, but it doesn't add a great deal to the overall blend. So how does the binder actually impact the cigar?
Let me explain,
from an overall
like
sense,
said,
aside from just the fact that it holds things together.
Let me explain. I knew the importance of the binder. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the way that Ernesto focused on blends that we would be working on, how the binder made such a huge change. And when I was working on a blend, I would be focusing more on mixing around some wrappers and not so much the binder. So it does change a lot, because Sometimes you have a cigar that has the flavor, has the strength, has the aroma, but remember the two of the hardest things to achieve is the balance and the complexity. And that change of the binder many, many times will help us achieve what Ernesto was looking for.
So the binder has a huge impact in your experience then. So it's not just something that holds.
It has an impact, definitely, because at the end of the day, the wrapper is what has the biggest impact on the overall smoke and strength and in flavor. But you have to have a good binder. You have to have a good fillers. But you could have good wrappers, fillers, and binders. But if the roller, when he's making the cigar, does not position the leaves in the proper place, then you will have canoeing, tunneling, side burning. I mean, many things.
So the binder is going to have a fundamental impact on the actual construction of the cigar. It's less about the flavor profile. It's more about how the cigar smokes itself.
Well, you got to remember that the binder is what holds the fillers after the bonchero, the roller, puts them together. There's companies that use double binders. There's and the role of the binder is so important that people don't talk about it. And I'll give you an example. If you're working XYZ brand and you're using let's say a ligero wrapper, and you put a viso binder on it, that cigar is not gonna burn correct. So you have to have one of the two has to be thin, so the burning. So how many times have you smoked a cigar and you will see how the wrapper burns, and then what's left behind is the filler and the binder? But also, how many times have you seen a cigar that you're smoking and then you see like the hole in the middle, the wrapper, the inside, the binder and the filler are burning inside and the wrapper is still outside? And that's a point, first, of construction, but second, because the combination of binder and wrapper was not well done.
Interesting. Yeah, it's many people didn't realize that, especially when even Usman say that he didn't think the binder give you a lot of stuff, but if it's there, there's a purpose. It's all by mean. I have another question which it's coming in my mind. I don't know when we're talking for the leaves and the etc. As you know, and probably most of the friends of the Habanus leaves, Cuban leaves, tobacco, know about the Behike and how the Behike is supposed to use a Medio Tiempo. But my question is anyone out of Cuba actually using Medio Tiempo? And do you know any specific cigar making with Nicaragua, or Honduras?
I don't know the people who are using Medio Tiempo, but if you talk to every different
Oh, for fuck.
Yeah. Right. Usman, can you restart that meeting?
Yeah, just restarted it. Sorry, guys.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. Zoom meeting ended there. This is the first time we're trying this. I apologize for it. Can we get Jose back on?
Yeah, but you need to let me in first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're a little bit
they're all back in.
Technical issue as usual. Every first time with us is not as smooth as anything at all.
It's one of those things.
It's not gonna be smooth if we are, if it's not a cigar run. Trust me. All the time there's a technical issues and everything, but that's what we are. It's we're still learning. Apologize us, and Usman tried to break something.
I'm sorry.
You should see what Usman's doing.
Are we back?
It locked. Sorry.
Hello.
So let's hope we're gonna get the Jose Blanco soon.
Jose's back in the.
Hold on.
Hello.
Yeah, Jose is.
Can you hear us?
He probably can't.
Hello.
Just a minute.
Do you hear me?
We can probably hear you now.
I can hear you. Yeah. If you just give us a second, I think Alex is just sorting out the audio. There we go. Okay, I've muted that. Jose, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. Perfect. Okay. Alex, can I have that phone back, please?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna be us, Jose, if we don't do something right in the first time. It's usually everything what we can mess up, we mess up in the first time.
We're trying to add.
Let's call the people, not give me the chance to make a cigar or anything, because I'm gonna mess it up.
So going back to the Medio Tiempo.
Yes, that was a really interesting point.
If you read everything that's been written about Medio Tiempo, everybody will give you a different opinion. What really is the Medio Tiempo? You know that the Medio Tiempo, you have a plant of tobacco that has two leaves that stick out. Those are coronas. Then you have viso, then you have ligero, then you have viso, then you have seco, you have bolado. In Cuba, because they have a shortage of tobacco, they use everything. But in Nicaragua, Dominican, Honduras, it's basically ligero, viso, and seco. So what really is the Medio Tiempo? The Medio Tiempo is the leaf, that corona from the part of it. Now, a lot of companies use it, and a lot of companies say they use it that don't have it. But you know, with the Behike, I mean, I don't get into the controversy of the Cubans, because the market hasn't seen Behikes in a long time. And when it did came out, I'm the first one to admit it was a phenomenal cigar. But the last ones that I've smoked, I mean, it's a pity where people are paying $45, $50, $60 for a cigar it's good, but it's not even close to what it used to be.
Did you actually smoke the first release of the Behike? You know, when was being released, like 2006, 7, I believe?
Yes, I smoked the original one when they came out with the humidor. There was 40 cigars, and it cost $18,000. I had a friend, and I used to go to Cuba, and he got me 2 of them. And I mean, those were phenomenal, and the ones that came out the next 2 or 3 years were good. But right now, I'm not saying it's a bad cigar, but it's not even close to what it used to be.
Yeah, it's a lot of probably demand for those cigars, more of a collectible point, I guess, instead of literally taste-wise, and because everyone knows that's a very expensive cigar, and you know, I don't think it's worth the money, but that's my opinion. I don't want to put that in anyone's minds.
These are the Behikes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I smoked a couple recently, and I thought, yeah, they're okay. I didn't think they were great or anything. Yeah, I just thought they were okay. I mean, they're very expensive. Over here, they're like, in England, they were, £180 for a Behike 54 for just one. It's a ridiculous price for, in my opinion, and this might, offend some people, but an average tasting cigar. I thought it was okay. I do have a question about cigar construction and something, because, some of the points they're raising are, really interesting for me. One of the things, or one of the ideas which kind of circulates around the cigar industry is about Lancero cigars, is that Lancero cigars generally have better flavor profiles, and it's, most people say, I don't know why, personally, I'm going to ask you why, or why you think that's the case, but a lot of people say it's because of the ratio between wrapper binder and leaf, and because the wrapper takes a larger portion in terms of the ratio, that's why it tends to taste better. But why do you think that so many people love Lancero cigars, and why do Lancero cigars have such a great flavor in general? Okay,
but let me put it to you this way. First of all, a lot of people ask me, what's the most difficult cigar to make? Is it a Salomon? Is it a Diadema Fino? Is it a Bellicoso? And of course, it's going to be a Lancero, because if you're working with a blend, let's say with 5 different fillers, for you to put in that 7x38 ring gauge that. Yeah. But remember, the ratio of filler to binder to wrapper applies to every cigar. Okay. One thing you did say that it's true, the smaller the ring gauge, the more flavor, the more strength on it. But remember, and I'll give you an example of what the misconception that people have about sizes. You take a Robusto, 5x50, with a Connecticut wrapper. Flavor and strength is going to be around 20, 22, 23%, depending on what type of priming and if it's from Ecuador or Connecticut, USA. But you take that same Robusto, 5x50, and you put a Corojo Ligero wrapper on it, it's going to be 50 to 55%. But you take a Lancero 7x38 with a Viso Habano wrapper on it, it's going to be between 70 to 75%. A misconception that people have, consumers all over the world, that think the bigger the ring gauge, the more flavor, the more strength. And it's the contrary. And I go with what you said, the theory, and the reality is, it's the ratio of filler to binder to wrapper. But by far, Lancero is the hardest cigar to make.
Interesting. So what is it about the ratio in Lanceros that's creating that? Maybe I missed this. I apologize if I missed this, if you've already covered this. But what is what part of the ratio is creating that extra flavor profile or that better?
It's flavor? Not the extra profile. What you're picking up is a little bit more strength. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Take any brand you want, 7x38 and smoke. It doesn't matter the brand. Smoke that same brand in a 6x60. And smoke it on a different day. Make it the first cigar of the day. And you will see that you're going to pick up more strength and more intensity on the flavor than a bigger ring gauge because of the ratio of filler to binder to wrapper. But at the end of the day, look, size is important. It does matter. But if you don't have good tobacco, good old age tobacco, and good rollers, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the back of the box or the band or the packaging. It's all about the cigar. The cigar has to perform by itself.
Okay, in that case, I haven't seen in the lines many Fuente Lanceros. Why they're not so popular with the Fuente brand? I've seen only 2, I think, or maybe I'm mistaken.
It's very popular, and if we would have a million Lanceros we would sell. The problem is the guy that rolls the Lancero at Fuente, he only does 25 cigars a day. And that's why sometimes you see years and years and years, and Carlito will release 200 or 300 boxes of them or whatever he does sometimes, because it's a very hard cigar to make. And I don't know if you ever smoked it, but I mean, there is no Lancero in the world that is made like the Lanceros that are made at Fuente. If you smoke like a Don Carlos Lancero, which when I was at factory now, they're so scarce that I could only get 6 of them there. I gave one to a friend. I smoked 2. I got 3 on the side. But I leave it for special moments when I really want to be like in heaven, because it's very unique. If that cigar were available and I could have them, that's probably a cigar that I would smoke at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I haven't. Wow. It's not. It's one of the cigars I've seen. I can't put my hands on it. It's not easy, even with my connections in the States, everywhere in the world. Not many people, which have some of them, they want to separate with them. They want to send me even one or 2. It's not easy task, but I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying with the collectors in the States. So I might manage to find at least one to try. It's Lancero. It's my favorite vitola as well.
I'll make you a deal. Next year, when the tours are open again, or you go to Pro Cigar to Dominican Republic, I'll get you a couple. Not more than 2, but I'll get you a couple.
Can I sneak in and say, can I have the second one?
Yes. Then we're going in the Dominican Republic, and we can appreciate them.
That would be amazing. I mean, is there any scope? I know you mentioned that it's because the person who rolls the cigars rolls 25. Is it 20? How often? 25 a month?
A day.
25 a day. Is there any scope for any new Lanceros from Fuente at all? Do you envision a new line of Lanceros from Fuente anytime soon, or anytime within the next few years?
To be honest, that is a question. Let me tell you something about Carlito and Fuente. There's things that come out that only Carlito knows about that. Not even
I
Rihanna,
see.
not even Cynthia, not Jeremiah, myself. Because, you know, as the toy maker, they
Yeah.
make them. There's things that Carlito makes that's maybe made him 3 years ago, and who knows if he's going to launch them now. Like the Naked Kings, those cigars were made for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, Carlito decides to that. The rare pinks that are amazing, those cigars were 2.5 years old, and Carlito left them there and left them there. Then he decided to do this with the rare pinks, and there's a huge amount of that out of every box. There's a huge contribution going from the Fuente family to research for breast cancer.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
Maybe
what is
rare
it,
pink
pink band?
Lancero
The rare
will be
pinks,
the next
yeah.
one. Maybe rare pink Lancero coming from Nicaragua.
They're gonna sell out so quickly. Do you think, Ray? What are the chances you could even get hold of them?
I can get the rare pinks. I already ordered some.
Do you?
They're on the road. It's not easy, but I have my connections, so we will have rare pinks at some point.
Wow, I mean, those are tough to get hold of. Rare pinks. Do we have any questions at the moment?
Literally just got one from Andre.
Oh, go on.
Andre is a great friend. I believe the professor know him very well as well. Andre Diaz from Sweden.
Oh, yes. Andre is one of the most talented young palates in Sweden. I know him for many years. He's a good kid, and I wish him all the best.
He's one of our best friends and our best supporters. He's literally every show on the live, and he supports us very much with even with advices and questions and everything. So Andre is a very valuable member of unofficial is member of our team. Maybe become official in some point.
Yes,
I don't
but
know.
please.
He's a
What's Andre's
invisible fourth
question?
person.
Yeah. What's the question?
So he was asking, do you think we'll ever be able to get a cigar like the Cigar Lancero again? Hopefully I've pronounced that right.
What did he say?
Do you think we could get another cigar like the
Cigar Lancero?
Senor Real Lancero?
Look, I don't know about that. Like I said, I don't deal with that anymore. My wife deals with that, but there still should be some still out in the market, because it does. When she does launch them, it does. I think like once a year they come out, and they sell out pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, Lanceros tend to be quite popular across the board with a lot of brands, don't they? And it's Ray's favorite Vitola. It's my favorite Vitola.
Well, I like to say if someone appreciates Lancero, then I appreciate him.
Oh, I see.
It's if the guy says I'm smoking 7x7, yeah, that's fair point. It's your taste, but if you know how to appreciate the Lancero, I'm a huge fan of you anymore. So.
Well, talking about Lanceros, a lot of people that average smokers that don't know a lot, oh, that's kind of a girly cigar. And I got to educate them and tell them, on the contrary, that is a connoisseur cigar.
Yes.
Because that's a cigar for people that have a good palate, that know cigars, that want to learn about cigars. But that is in my opinion, it's a connoisseur cigar.
Well, if it's in your opinion, it's a very valid opinion considering who you are. So I think we could take that as a point of fact. I think Lancero cigars, I'll take that as a huge compliment then. I'm a connoisseur. Thank you so much.
Right. Another topic I would like to discuss a little bit if we can, and that is the Chinese market. It's very popular at the moment. I've seen a lot of people commenting that the Chinese market basically buy all the Cubans from Europe, from Asia, from everywhere. But how is the situation for, let's say, Fuente as a brand? Is it that popular with the Chinese market? Because basically, it's some of the Fuente lines are very collectible.
Yes, look, whatever, like I said, we've been in back order for the last 20 years. And if we could send 1 million more cigars to China, we know that we could sell it. But, we take care of all our distributors in a certain proportion of what we get at Fuente International. And of course, it's a very growing market. And it's true the Chinese are going all over Europe, everywhere, buying up everything they can. It has become now that the Chinese own Habanos, the Hong Kong group,
Yeah.
it becomes that it's a growing market. I used to go work a lot in 2013, 2014, doing events in Thailand, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and at that time I could see that the young generation, when I'm talking about 30, 40-year-old first-time smokers, looking forward to develop, and it has developed very, very strong.
I mean, the market in China is growing heavily. I think Ray and I disagree in terms of the time frames of how long China could have a massive impact on the cigar industry. But I think we both agree that China will have a huge impact on the cigar industry. And I mean, at the moment, the US is the biggest consumer of cigars across the board. And that's great for like a lot of US-based retailers, especially for Fuente. So Fuente has a huge market in the US. What's the kind of, what kind of ratio, or do you have any information in terms of how popular Fuente is in Europe and how popular Fuente is in China?
Well, to be honest, Fuente's popular in 80 countries that we're selling to. I mean, we don't, how would you say, rush the hands of time, because Carlito, till those cigars don't have regular production, 6 or 7 months of aging, and the Opus and the Don Carlos over a year, he will not release them. So, we've been consistent with the millions and millions of cigars that we're making, and we hope in the future, when we're able to open Nicaragua, expand more and make more cigars, but always on the basis that quality before quantity. Don Carlos always said as a young man that he didn't want to be the biggest. He wanted to be the best. So Don Arturo passed that on to Don Carlos. Don Carlos has passed that on to Carlito and to Liana and the kids. I call them kids because they could be my grandkids. But that's what's been injected from generation to generation already. The Fuente with Liana and Carlos III, which is going to be the 4th generation and the future of the company. And that is something they have very clear in their minds, that it's not about quantity. It's always going to be about the quality of it. And that, in my personal opinion, has been one of the greatest successes of companies like family-owned companies like Fuente, and also I have to mention the Padron family too.
Speaking of quality, I do have a question related to a popular magazine called Cigar Aficionado, which I'm sure you've heard of. How important is it to a cigar brand to rank relatively high on Cigar Aficionado's list? Is there a particular thing or something that you do to try and get in those ranks? How do you have that in the back of your mind, or anywhere in your mind whenever you're producing a particular blend or anything? How does that play into the strategy?
Well, the strategy is that you hope that you will make the top 25 or on every issue that comes out every 2 months, that you're rated 93, 94. It catches people's eyes. But without a doubt, the magazine has, you can have all the bloggers in the world, all the websites in the world, all these people that a lot of them know about cigars. But, like a lot of my friends say, we rate cigars, but at the end of the day, when the end of the year comes and Cigar Aficionado says you're number 1, 2, 3, or you're on the top 10, you know that your sales are going to go up and you will get worldwide recognition. The same thing, I have to mention the people of Cigar Journal that have done an amazing job too. So in my opinion, those are the two publishers or the two magazines that really dictate a lot of what the industry does. And one thing I can tell you that people say, well, it's all about the amount of advertising you do. And without mentioning companies, I know companies, and if you go through Cigar Aficionado, they put in 5 double pages, and each page of that is $25,000, that spend $250,000 on each issue. So that's around $1.5 million in advertising a year in the magazine alone. And sometimes they don't even make the top 25. Or when they get rating, it's like 88s and 89s, and once in a blue moon, they'll get a 90. Because I'm not saying they're bad cigars, but they're not great cigars. So those people who think that because you pay a lot of advertising, it's going to bring you on the top 3 or the top 5. It doesn't work that way. I can name companies that got the number 2 cigar of the year, and they have never advertised with Cigar Aficionado.
That's actually something that I agree with you on, because I think that it would be extremely difficult to manage that, or to try and keep that out of the public's mind. If you did something like that, it would just kind of leak out, and their reputation would be absolutely hammered. And they're a magazine that's been running for decades, and it would be foolish to operate in such a manner. So yeah, I agree with you on that front. I think that there is an idea among many cigar smokers. They believe that Cigar Aficionado operates on that basis, where if you pay lots of money to them via their advertising, then they'll rank you higher. But I completely disagree with that. I don't think that that's something that they do. Not that I'm an ardent defender of them or anything like that. I mean, I don't have a subscription with them or anything. I just think that it would be foolish for their reputation, and also it'd be pretty difficult to hide. It'd be very difficult to hide.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, there is a very interesting few questions from Andre. So Andre wants to know you.
Choice of words there, right?
Well, it's interesting questions, and I'm gonna ask. So, Andre asked, what type of vitola you want to see from Fuente in the future, which the brand hasn't done yet?
Oh,
look, I know some things that are on the work that are never done before, but like I said, we don't reveal anything. We don't even reveal. We only reveal sometimes if it's Cameroon, if it's the Opus wrapper, maybe Kinetic. The rest we don't reveal, because that is something that I've always respected with Carlito, and I think it's trade secrets that you don't want to really go. Are we thinking about different things? Absolutely, because Carlito's like a scientist, a mad scientist. He's always working on things. He's thinking. He's sitting down, and all of a sudden you see that he takes out his pen and he writes in a little piece of paper, and he puts it there and puts it on his phone to remember him on that. He's a very creative person. But you know, we have look, without mentioning names, how many people have created stuff that have been totally fiascos? Because at the end of the day, you could be creative with the size and things like that, but it has to sell, it has to perform, it has to be good, it has to be something that, like we say in the States, something to write home about. Yeah. So it's
interesting.
Do you mind if I?
No, you can jump on.
Is that okay? Sorry, I apologize for interrupting.
No, go on.
So I want to, if you don't mind, I want to go back to the point that I raised about Cigar Aficionado, and you talked about how Cigar Aficionado has a huge impact on the sales and the you know, as soon as you hit number 1 or number 2, it has a massive impact on sales, which is a fact. You know, in general, whenever a cigar hits number 1, they kind of go, well, they just sold out pretty much everywhere. How do you manage that? How do you, like, if you're completely sold out everywhere and people are trying to buy your cigar, but they can't buy it anywhere, and how do you kind of manage that production? What do you do? Like, is it a bit of a panic, or how does that hit the company?
Well, that is that's why you've seen companies that have been around for 100 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years successful, because at the end of the day, it's all about tobacco. I'll just give you an example. Let's say that for the next 5 years, because of weather, everything is frozen or everything is burned down, 1 leaf of tobacco cannot be grown. Fuente will continue making cigars at the same rate without buying one leaf of wrapper, binder, or filler. Probably they could go 6 years making the same amount of cigars with the same quality. Why?
Wow.
Because of the inventory. So there's about 3, maybe 4 companies that can get away with that. But I would say 90% of the companies don't have an inventory that they can hold out for 4 or 5 years.
So you've
It's all
got
about
enough
the
stock to
inventory,
be able
it's
to.
about the aging. Yes, huge stock.
Wow. Okay, that is impressive. So, from your perspective, then you're comfortable, even when sales are extremely high, you could just kind of increase the supply a little bit. And if sales are a little bit lower, then you could just reduce our supply a little bit, and you could kind of manage that effectively because of the huge inventory you've got.
But even though I have to say this, when Fuente has got the number 1 cigar of the year, and let's say we were making, let's say 300,000 opals a year, it's not that all of a sudden they're going to make $1 million. No, they're going to continue to make that 300, maybe 10 or 20,000 more, but they're not going to go totally berserk out of that.
I see. So you have a quite reserved mentality when it comes to, even when sales are going extremely high, you're going to you may increase production a little bit, but you'll have a slightly more reserved perspective on it and not try and chase that demand.
Another good question from Andre, which I really like, and I can't just leave it like that. The question is, what do you think industry need to improve to, so the young adults in the world be more invested in the cigars?
To be honest, I think it's all something that I do a lot. It's a lot about education.
I think we lost.
Okay. I think it has to do a lot with education. I think the more educated the consumers are and the retailers are and the distributor, they do a great service to consumers. Unfortunately, a lot of people, a lot of companies, the bottom line is they want to sell and they don't take the time to really to educate. With all the companies that I work with, it's been more focus on, of course, sales, making blends, things like that. But my main theme has been for many, many years, education. I've probably done already close to 2,000 seminars, and it's been really, it's been my pleasure, my honor to educate. I've said this in many shows. I can name 10 or 12 people that know more about cigars than I do, but they will die and take whatever they know about it to the tomb because they're not willing to share, to educate, and to help out other people. I'll give you an example without naming names. There's a lot of new companies when come out, they go to the show, bring me a little bag with 3 cigars and say, Mr. Blanco, we know you smoke everything. When you have time, could you just smoke the cigar and give me your opinion? And I've smoked them and I've told them, I liked it. I think you should do this, you should that. Do you have a problem with the wrapper? I think it was very one-dimensional. I think it was a little bit light. It wasn't complex enough. It was not balanced enough. Because do we want more cigar manufacturers? Absolutely not. Do we want more retailers? Absolutely not. Do we want better retailers? Yes. And do we want better manufacturers? Absolutely. Because the more good cigars that are produced, it's better for the industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt. I completely agree with that. I was going to say, it's completely slipped my mind. I had a relatively good question. Ray, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I was asking. I want to ask actually, what is your official role with Fuente at the moment, and do you want to be more involved in a different processes with Fuente or different role in the future, maybe?
Be honest, my role right now is with Jeremiah, developing, introducing Fuente to countries where we have not gone into. Because one thing is, we get requests from all over the world to sell Fuente cigars. But first of all, we have to evaluate the distributor, the passion, his sales team, how he looks at business. Because it's not that, oh yeah, I want 100 I'm going to give you an order for 100,000 cigars. No, it's not about that. We want to know how our cigars are going to be sold, what shops are going to be sold, if they're going to be at eye level, if they're going to commit to supporting the brand. It's not just to sell cigars for the heck of selling cigars. Our philosophy is a little bit different than the majority of the other companies.
Is that all you're? Oh, right. Sorry. I think I was just lost you there for a second. One thing I've noticed about you yourself is you generally, as you mentioned, education is a huge key part of what you're doing, which is something that I think a lot of cigar aficionados, a lot of cigar smokers, especially Ray, because Ray's joined you in so many different Zoom calls, and he definitely appreciates. A lot of cigar smokers appreciate. You've joined so many Zoom calls over the last year. You've tried to be as much a part of the community as you possibly can, as well as as well as you are a part of the industry in terms of the companies and the manufacturers and so on. How do you kind of balance that? I mean, that's a lot of time that you're putting towards everything. I'm just impressed by that. So I just wanted to know how you balance that.
Well, to be honest, it's all about passion. It's about love, and it's about commitment. I'll give you an example, and Jeremiah said it on the show. I went Monday to get vaccinated in Miami. Got there at 8 o'clock at night. Took 3 flights from Europe. Went at 10 o'clock in the morning, got vaccinated. Then I did a couple of things I had to do. And the next day, I got on a plane at 4 o'clock and arrived here like 5 something in the afternoon. And right away, 2 hours later, I had to get on a Zoom call with Ghana for 2 years, for 2 hours. And it's because you're committed. I could have said, well, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. No, but after I commit to something, Jeremiah and myself, we've gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do a show, a Zoom call with Australia, with our partners there. So if anybody thinks that you're going to be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
You have to be 24/7 just ready to come out and with work with the distributors and consumers.
Cool.
Oh, what happened there?
We just lost him.
Have we just lost
he's
Mr.
back.
Blanco? Oh, no.
I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, so glad.
Lost you for a second.
So, sorry, you were saying that, you've the 3 o'clock Zoom calls and meetings and so on.
3 a.m. 3 a.m.
Yes, 3 a.m. Yes, 3 a.m. I can imagine. I mean, the amount of passion that you have to do something like this. I mean, we tried a little bit.
Jose, the show Merafel did with the 1 year anniversary of your show. The professor made the Fuente family show in YouTube, and 1 year anniversary, which was become like 27 hours. I've been on all full 27 hours. Am I crazy?
Yes, you are.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And my cousin Joey Bianco was on it for
the whole show
26
since the
hours.
beginning, like 2 days ago.
Sorry, Jose, you were saying something.
I said that my cousin Joey Bianco was on the show for the 27 hours too. He's a big cigar geek.
Yeah, we literally with him together all night. We chatting and say, "Are you there? Are you there?" With Joey, yeah.
A little bit of an, just a basic level question here, but this is just purely out of curiosity. I know that Ray smokes a lot of cigars, but Ray smokes a lot of different kinds of cigars, and this is something that you mentioned as well. You smoke a lot of different kinds of cigars. You smoke practically as many or whatever you can. It doesn't matter what the region is, and so on and so forth. How many cigars do you smoke on average, and how do you kind of balance them out through the day? Do you have like a plan in your mind as to what kind of cigars you're going to smoke in the morning, lunch, evening, afternoon, that kind of thing? How do you
No,
how do you manage that?
No, this is what happens. I used to smoke 7, 8 cigars a day.
Mm-hmm.
And about 6 or 7 years ago, I cut down a bit because I realized that bringing to 4 or 5, I would be enjoying the cigars more and would give it rest to the palate. Now I'm doing, after COVID, for the first 3 weeks, it was 1 a day, then two a day. When I went down a month ago to spend 10 days with Carlito, I was smoking 3 a days. Now I'm back to 2. Today, 3. I was only going to smoke 2, but being on the show, smoking the 3rd one. So that will probably be for the next 3 or 4 months, depending how everything continues health-wise. But I'll probably, when things get normal with COVID and being able to travel, I'll just stick to a 4-day. That doesn't mean that there's days that I'll smoke 5 or 6, like if I'm doing traveling, visiting clients, doing events. But I try to keep it right now to about 4 a day.
So 4 a day is what your maximum. Do you have a particular type of cigar you smoke in the morning?
You know,
Or do
it's
you smoke in
funny
the morning at
because
all?
oh yeah. Anybody who's seen my Instagram has seen me at 4 o'clock in the morning in an airport, like an Opus or any other cigar. No, I actually start around 7:30 every morning after Jasper goes to school. Now he's on vacation. And I'll do one from 7:30 to around 8:30, 8:45. Then after lunch, around maybe 1, 2, 2:30, I'll smoke another one, and I'll be good with that. But
So
the way I start off is contrary of everybody. I start off very full body, full flavor.
Really?
And then my second cigar, when I was doing 4, I'll put it to you this way. Start 7:15 more or less, smoke a really full body cigar around 10:30, smoke the other one. Then after lunch, 1:30, 2 o'clock, smoke medium to full. And then the last cigar of the day will probably be a solid medium, basically like that. But what I've learned that giving time, a couple of hours in between, I enjoy more the cigar, and my palate is not so shocked on it. So when I see people that tell me they smoke 10 cigars a day, I ask them, what does the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th taste like?
Do they give you an answer?
They just laugh.
How?
2 a day would knock you and me out, right?
I think I generally smoke 1 a day. And when we have a live stream, I'll smoke 2. If we're traveling or if we're going somewhere for an event, I'll smoke maybe 2 or 3. But I think 3 is the most I can handle in a day. As Ray knows quite well, I'm a bit of a lightweight in that regard. I love cigars, absolutely love them. But yeah, I think 3 is my maximum at the moment.
Jose, tell me how I can let Usman to start smoking a really full body cigars, because he don't want to try.
Listen, let me tell you something. That's an interesting question at the same time. Every human being has a tolerance scale that goes from 1 to 10. There's people that I know that will eat a 22-ounce steak, 2 big Idaho potatoes, and you give them a mild cigar and they'll go, oh, it's too strong. No, the cigar is not strong. You have a very low tolerance.
Another technical issue.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah. So, guys, what do you think? How do you think the
Are there any questions at the moment?
any
coming
questions?
in?
I'm hoping
I'm just gonna.
he will join again. I don't know what's happened tonight with all the technical issues. Something overheated and something. I don't know. So we'll get him back in the Zoom. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. So how is the chat? I don't know. I can't see many questions because basically I try to listen to them and not reading everything in the chat and yeah, as much as possible. I try to look in the comments and everything like that. So
Join me on that one, please.
I hope you enjoyed, and I'm pretty sure the next session will be smooth, way better than what we have at the moment, and all the technical issue, which
Alex.
most of them we didn't think we're gonna have them, but we actually have them. So bear with us. I'm hoping the professor will join us in a minute.
He's nearly back.
Oh, I'm back.
I don't know
The
what's
problem is
fantastic.
that it keeps saying Zoom.
Really, apologies for
meeting
that.
has
Sorry,
this-
you were saying something, but
Hold on. He was talking and you can't hear him yet.
Oh.
This man can't hear you yet, Jose. 1 second.
give me a minute.
Can you hear me?
Everybody else can hear you.
But I
When
can't.
you're ready, you talk to.
Yeah, I can hear everything.
Okay, what I'm saying is that every time it goes off, it says Zoom meeting has ended. So I guess when you do this, you have to program it for 2 hours so it doesn't go off. That's what's happening.
It's supposed to carry on. We've got a premium subscription and we don't know why it's not carrying on. Is the short version of that.
We'll find out for the next show for sure. Again, apologize about all the technical show. It's the first time we're trying to do that kind of show, and it's really, trial and error.
No problem.
So, Jose, you were saying something about, tolerance levels, because everyone can have different tolerance levels. Someone can have a 22-ounce steak, massive Idaho potatoes, give them a mild body cigar, and for them it'll be like, oof, that's too much. And then you're about to continue from there.
No, what I'm saying is like I can get up 4 o'clock. If you see my Instagram, 4 o'clock in the morning smoking a full body cigar, because I have on a scale of 1 to 10, it's 10 my tolerance scale of smoking. So people, look, if you're comfortable smoking a mild cigar, keep to a mild cigar or a medium body cigar or a full body cigar. But your body is going to really reveal what your tolerance scale is. It's like 90% of the people start off with a mild cigar, then they'll go to a medium body cigar, and then after dinner, if they smoke 3 a day, will smoke a full body strong.
Oh, have we lost?
Seems slightly there. Oh, he's back.
Ah, fantastic. So, I guess, yeah, that's your answer, eh? You're not going to be able to get me onto heavy cigars anytime soon.
I don't know. I've been pretty much similar when I started smoking years ago, especially when I carry on smoking only Cubans and stuff. But now I'm quite agree with Jose. I literally don't smoke in the morning. I don't know. I don't feel wants to smoke in the morning. I smoke usually 2 to 3 cigars a day, and my first cigar is not before 12 o'clock usually. And I start with very strong cigar often. Very full body. Today, for example, my first cigar was Juarez by Crown Heads, which is a quite strong cigar. It's some Mexican San Andreas wrap cigar, very tasty, not full body, but let's say from medium to full body. And now I'm enjoying slightly lighter cigar than that, and that's how I usually start, with strong cigars, smoking around lunchtime.
For me, this is, I wouldn't call this a light body cigar. I would call this about a medium.
It's a medium.
For me. Yeah, so for me, this is a medium. This is a really good cigar, though. I really, really like this
I knew
one.
you're gonna like it. That's why I bring that cigar. It's a very, very interesting cigar. One of my vitola, which I usually go. I think the States is the people in America are slightly off that kind of vitola, the Churchill. That's what I think. I'm not seeing many brands producing Churchill. I don't know why. I believe it's lovely vitola. 47, 48 ring gauge.
Yeah, 47
Yeah,
gauge is a good.
Churchill is not a big seller in the States, to be honest. People, right now, the number one selling size in the States by far is Toro 6x54. Then Robusto comes in second, and then in the close third would be the 6x60.
So relatively heavier ring gauge, larger cigars in the States. What about
Yes.
in Europe and China?
Europe, by far, still Robusto is the number one selling size. I mean, any Robusto from the Cubans or non-Cubans is going to be that. Even though some countries are picking up a little bit bigger on ring gauges, Toros. I haven't been in China in a long time, but when I was visiting there, a lot of Robusto smokers, Petit Coronas, Longsdales. Once in a while, you would see somebody with a Toro, but like I said, I haven't been out there in many years, and that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, in Europe, people tend to. Yeah, Ray, that's what I found as well.
Yeah.
Robusto is very, very
Agree,
popular here.
Agree. Yeah. Jose, is there a particular brand or cigar made by someone? I believe you know everyone and pretty much you try probably everything, which you like and enjoy as much as you enjoy Fuente. Let's say if you don't have a Fuente, what are you gonna smoke?
I'm going to put it to you this way, out of respect, because I have so many friends in the industry. I'm just going to say, like I say, no hablo inglés.
I to be honest, I expect that question. You know, I was slightly knowing that will come as answer, but I was try to, you know,
Very diplomatic answer.
yeah, try to sneak that one. Which is your favorite Cuban brand?
I was going to ask that.
I know.
I'll put it to you this way. I haven't had a very good Cuban in a long time. The last
enough.
great Cuban I had was Ramon Ayones, 30-year Phoenician, the Partagas de Reserva. And believe it or not, my good friend from Croatia, Alain Kozanovic, was here today, and he gave me a special edition that was made for him that was absolutely fantastic. I can't remember what it was now, but have I smoked good ones? Yes, but they're not even close to what they used to be honest. So, I mean, I smoke them. I have a ton of them. And of course, at least once a week, I'll light one up, but I'd rather smoke a good Fuente, a good Padron, something from Ernesto, and from other friends that I have out there. Look, everybody's making great cigars. And particularly, I have the utmost respect for every manufacturer. That's why you'll never hear me say, oh, this cigar is a piece of shit or it's a dog rock. And I'll just say, you know, this is not my cup of tea, but never will I ever talk bad about a cigar or a brand owner because of the utmost respect that I have for everyone.
But you say you enjoy a lot of decent Cubans back in the time, many years ago. When the Cubans and why they lose the path? Why they lose the quality or whatever? Why they don't make a good cigar anymore?
They make some good cigars, but you know the main problem they have is you buy a box of, let's say, Monte Cristo 4. 10 or 12 of them are going to be plugged. And then when you buy Cubans, is this what I tell people? If they're legit, put them away for a couple of years and pray to God they're going to draw, and you'll probably get a good smoke out of it. While we're aging tobacco, respectable companies are aging tobacco 3 or 4 years while we're doing 6, 7, 8, 10 years. They're, with the exception of the regionals and some limited editions, those tobaccos are just a couple of years old. The regular production is maybe tobaccos for a year old. They don't have tobacco. They only made 70 million cigars last year.
Yeah. I did notice. I mean, how do you think they could overcome their supply issues? Is that something which is just something they're not going to be able to fix?
They will never fix that till, let me give you an example. You know how much a roller makes in Cuba a month?
Not
what do
a
you
lot.
think?
Pennies?
A month, what?
Okay.
$50?
Yeah, about
In
$50 or
dollars.
$100.
What do you think? What?
I don't know, $50? Just a random number?
If you would get them to pay, if you would get the rollers to be paid $50, you could become the president of Cuba. The roller makes regular production $14, regionals $16, limited edition $18 a month.
A month?
You
Wow.
couldn't live on $14 an hour.
That's why a lot of the Cuban markets or a lot of the Cuban industry is considered the black market, because even if you have a coffee shop, which is technically privately owned, that would be considered a black market operation. So that's how a lot of
You will only see the greatness of Cuba first when democracy is restored. The rightful owners get back what's there. That'll wind up in court for many years, and that will take between 7 or 8 years to see the greatness of Cuba. The land is totally worn out.
With my knowledge, little knowledge, I think the problem on the Cuban cigars is mostly the wrapper. Do you think in the good looking future, if the people are able to mix Cuban tobacco with the other tobacco, there will be very good examples on exceptional cigars made with, let's say, Cuban filler and binder and really tasty, I don't know, San Andreas wrapper maybe, Matafina or something?
I mean, that would be ideal, but the problem is the Cubans are never going to fall into that. I mean, when democracy is restored, a lot of companies will go there, maybe make factories there, but basically grow a lot of tobacco and bring it in. I mean, a great blend is, let's say, a good Viso or a good Ligero from Cuba with some Piloto Cubano from Dominican and maybe a leaf from Jalapa or Esteli with a nice, even a Mexican San Andres wrapper in Sumatra, Ecuador, or with Cameroon. Like I've done blends with a Cameroon wrapper that when I used to travel to Cuba, I would get wrapper. And then I got some friends in Canada that every time I would come back, I would bring back 6 or 7 pounds of that. So I experimented a lot with that. And I think they're just absolutely phenomenal. But while we still have that communist regime there, you will never see the greatness of Cuba again. It's getting worse by the day.
But if you're talking about how you bring a different wrapper to try different blends and stuff, how the wrapper how the wrapper changes taste and what the wrapper basically bring to the cigar. A lot of people have a opinion that the wrapper is like 60% of the taste or something, and other people say basically the filler is the thing which make the taste and the component. Why the wrapper is important?
But remember, I just explained that when I told you, you take a cigar with a Robusto with a Connecticut wrapper, the overall flavor and strength is going to be around 20 or 22%. And if you take that same Robusto and you put a Ligero Corojo wrapper on, it's going to be 55 to 60. And if you take a Lancero 7x38 with a Habano Viso Ecuador, it's going to be 70 to 75%.
Lost him again.
I think it might be the connection, but
Here he is. He's back.
hey. So, sorry, you were saying if you have a Lancero, then the ratio of how the wrapper will impact it will be about 50 to 60%. Were you saying? Sorry?
No, on the Lancero will be 70 to 75%.
So that's how much the wrapper impacts the overall blend on a Lancero.
The wrapper will impact more than anything else. It doesn't matter the size of the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most important component of it, and it's the most expensive part. I'll just give you an example. I consider Cameroon for the last 35, 40 years the best wrapper in the world, but it's the most expensive wrapper in the world. It could go from grade C, $40, grade B, $50, grade A, $60 a pound. And it's one of the hardest wrappers to grow in the world. I mean, if we enjoy Cameroon wrapper today, it's because of the effort and the sweat, blood, and tears that the Merifel family has done for now 5 generations.
Wow. I mean, I kind of had an understanding of the wrapper being an important component, but I didn't realize how much of an impact he had. So that's quite
You mentioned
interesting point.
Merafel is most expensive. The Cameroon is most expensive wrapper. But if you're mentioning the price wise, how much is more expensive the Cameroon than from, let's say, Mexican San Andres or some other stuff which are not so expensive?
We lost your audio there.
Maybe half price.
Wow, 50%.
Yeah.
That's a big gap. Do we have any questions from the...
We've had a few. Ray just asked one.
Oh, okay.
There was a question from Mark asking about favourite vitolas. I mean, I know your twos are Lanceros.
I know what we're gonna say. The professor Corona. Did I guess right?
My favorite size is Corona Gorda 5.5 by 46. Then it will go down to a Corona. Then it'll go down to a Corona 5.25 by 42 or 43. Then, of course, a Lancero 7.25 by 38 or 7 by 38. There's people that will do a Lancero 7 by 40. Of course, Robustos. Once in a while, I'll smoke a Toro, but I try to keep it to the smaller ring gauges.
Is that mostly because of the time that it takes to smoke it? Like, because you said that you smoke 3 cigars during the day and you want to spend like a couple of hours in the morning, maybe an hour. Is it the time, or is it that there's a particular flavor profile of that vitola which you prefer?
Look, I gotta be honest. I don't like to smoke more than an hour, hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. Like I have some Salomons and some A's, different A's, 9.25 by 47, and they've just been sitting there for years and years and years. And I would have to be really watching maybe a 2-hour movie. I'll sit down in front of my computer or my phone and smoke it. But I'm not a big. I'm an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes, maybe hour and 20 max smoker.
Yeah.
Do you know how much last Hemingway took me to smoke it? How long? You know, the 9 and something by, what do you say, 46, 48, I believe, the Salmon. Over 4 hours.
Yeah, you smoke. You know, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that the faster you smoke, that's how you produce a lot of bitterness and sourness. You have to smoke a cigar slowly to really appreciate it. Because if you smoke fast, people think that the flavors in the leaves, the filler, the binder, and the wrapper, it's actually the essential oils that those 3 leaves have. So when you're smoking too fast and smoke is going through the cigar, the essential oils are evaporating. It's like smoking paper. So rule of thumb is a Robusto has to be at least an hour, a Toro 2 hours.
There's an interesting question in the chat, and I can't miss it. I need to ask. The question is from one and only Jeremiah. He asks, how do you put up with Carlito and himself? And he say, I take my hat off, Comandante.
You know, I call them on our show Num-Nums 1 and Num-Nums 2. They break my balls all the time. But to be honest, I mean, like I said before, dreams that you have, even if you're 55, 60, 70, to me, to be working with Carlito and Jeremiah and Josh, his brother, which is an exceptional human being, is like a dream come true. Because when you're working with family, when you're working with passionate people, and that's what I said, I hope that Jeremiah accepts the invitation and comes one day. Because if there's a story to tell about tobacco, it's from the Marifel family. And I mean, the respect I have for Jeremiah, his brother, his father, may God rest his soul, and his grandfather Heller, it's like amazing. For them, of course, they want to make money like everybody else, but before they put money, it's the quality. They do not sacrifice anything. They do not cut corners. They are the largest employers of people in Cameroon. They have between 25 to 30,000 people working there. Cameroon is so hard that they have to put in the electricity, the water, the security, the hospitals to take care of that. So my hat's off to Jeremiah. Everybody who's in the tobacco business knows what the Marifel family, the same thing with Carlito and his family. People see the greatness of Fuente, but people don't remember they got burned out and totally broke in 1978 in Honduras. They burned down their factory. They go to in Nicaragua. They go to Honduras, again, a fire. burns everything down. Don Carlos and Carlito go to Dominican Republic in 1980 and start off with 7 rollers and went through hell and back. And look where they are now because of perseverance, because of love. And like Carlito has always said, it's not about cigars. It's all about the people. I was surprised, not surprised, but when I went there, I saw a friend of mine that's called El Negro Carrachá that has been rolling cañones for 39 years. I've seen employees there for 30 years, 25 years. I've seen the sons of people who started with Fuente. Now they're working at Fuente. And one of the biggest things that Fuente has done is the foundation at Chateau de la Fuente. They feed 550 students a day. They have graduated people from there that are now doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs. So again, it's not about cigars. It's all about the people.
Great story.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, that's
I've seen a few more questions in the chat. I'm thinking to ask them as well, and I will have one really interesting final question, but that will be the really final one. The one question Andre asked, it's slightly changing the topic again, but I just see the question. I read an article as well with Andre, and the article said that J.C. Newman will try to propose to use a Cuban tobacco. How do you think that will go?
One thing I can guarantee you, it will never happen.
I mean, he's
It's
been
a good
petitioning
intention,
for a while, hasn't he?
but it will
Yeah.
never happen. First of all, the Cubans don't have tobacco to sell. Second, the Senate will not approve that. And the Americans, and Biden has made it clear, he's going to, one of the few things it seems he's going to follow on Trump is to keep the embargo and to toughen up sanctions against Cuba because of the situation and the hardships that Cuba's going through.
Yeah, that's what was my
That's my-
opinion
that's-
as well. I
that's
don't
my
think that's going to
personal
happen in the nearest future, despite the fact J.C. Newman is a great big company. Still not gonna be
Great people.
able. Another interesting question, which it's I believe a lot of new smokers have no idea how to deal with that. So imagine you're smoking an interesting cigar, good cigar, and at some moment you need to rush and leave the cigar. And you don't want to throw the cigar because basically you're probably in the beginning, in the first half. Is there any chance to save the cigar and actually relight it after with the same taste?
Of course not. The first thing, the tar built up on that is going to change the cigar totally around. It's funny you mentioned that because my father was a 8 or 9 cigar a day smoker, and his last cigar of the day, if he only smoked half of it, that would be the first cigar of the day. And I said, Dad, how the hell can you do that? He says, sometimes they're good, sometimes I just got to throw them away because of the tar buildup. But and that's why it's so important when you're picking up a cigar. You got to pick up a cigar for the time you have. Why would you buy a Churchill, whether it's on the Cuban standard 7x47 or 7x50, and you only have an hour to smoke? Two things are going to happen. Or you're going to smoke the cigar totally incorrect,
Yeah.
or you're going to smoke half of the cigar and leave half of the cigar in the ashtray, and you're going to have £5-6 or $5 or $6 just put down to waste.
So no go.
Yeah, that's something that I've experienced as well. You know, whenever it's one of the things that I absolutely hate doing is sometimes, you know, a situation may arise where, you know, I'll initially start where I'm smoking a cigar and I think, oh, I've got enough time. But then something might happen, and it's just that it's a little heartbreaking because you're thinking, oh, I know I'm going to smoke this again afterwards, but it's just not going to be the same. And it never is. It never is the same because you're smoking it, you're really enjoying it. It's got beautiful flavors. As soon as you put it down and you let it rest or you let it go out and you come back to it, it's just not the same. It's just not the same at all.
My next question. Yeah, tonight, Jose, it's I have you on your call and I need to ask you all kind of questions coming on my mind. I've seen people, especially in the social medias, in the different forums, they try to infuse cigars by itself. They put the cigar in a sealed compartment with coffee, rum, whiskey, etc., etc. Is actually something which you can do it, or is just mind game and you think it's infused, but actually it's nothing?
Look, there's people who will take a crystal jar, put rum, whiskey in them, leave something on the surface where the liquid doesn't taste the cigar. But why would you want to do that to a premium cigar? If you like those type of flavors, just buy a flavor cigar. Don't destroy a perfectly premium cigar.
I agree. I think that when a manufacturer produces a cigar with a particular profile in mind, I know I'm not going to have the skills anywhere near the knowledge to be able to infuse it in a way that it's going to improve it. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do that. So I just want to enjoy the cigar as it comes from the manufacturer, the way that they've kind of intended it to be smoked. I think infusing, personally, that's just not something I ever want to get into, really.
We had a great question from Mace.
Oh, hello, Base.
Is there more that we, the community, can do to support the local communities where our great leaves are produced? Hopefully you heard that.
I didn't hear the question. What's the question?
Sorry.
Let me ask that question. Sorry, what was the question, Alex?
Is there more we can do to support the local communities where leaves are growing?
Is there more that we can do to support the local communities where the leaves are grown?
Well, the best way to really support is XYZ country where the tobacco is being grown, buy tobacco and smoke cigars from those countries. But at the same time, taste is subjective. You can support the community all you want, but if you don't like that type of tobacco, you're not going to really, you could wish them all the best. And we know, without mentioning countries, there's some countries that produce tobacco that's basically for the mass market. It's basically for small cigarillos that they're okay. They sell by the billions, but for a cigar smoker, it's not something that really appeals to him.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
Are there any particular Gurkha cigars that you've really enjoyed?
Maybe one or two.
Could you name them?
Diplomatic as always.
No, because look, I know Kaiser well. He does well. He sells the cigars, but to be honest, I've smoked very few Gurkha cigars. To be honest.
Fair point.
Very diplomatic answer once again.
Do you have any other questions, Osman?
I think that was my question.
Okay. I think I'm going to ask the final question. And before we ask in the final question, and I think I just want to again appreciate and really, really big thank you to you and your time, Jose. And basically you agreed to join us without any hesitation. And you say, yes, of course, yeah. I'll join. And I literally, it's very, very big honor for me. And I believe for the other people from the team.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine better first guests in our show and all the conversation, all the questions you ask without anything in mind and not many times mentioning no hablo español and etc., which is really really respectful. My final question is: someone was saying the person is as big as his dreams are. What is your dream?
To be honest, even though everybody who knows me knows that I first started off with my father. I know how to make cold cuts and ham and all that stuff. We had it for many, many years. Then my father retired. Then I worked as a salesperson with Brugal, which is the #1 rum in Dominican Republic. Then I spent 30 years with Grupo Leon Jimenez, being head of Presidente, be here for 17, and then being 14 years on the tobacco side, but smoking for 55 years. I started smoke with 15. So after, I would say that I went to La Aurora, I envisioned myself bringing something different to the table, spreading the love of what cigars is all about. And since 2000 to now, the last 21 years involved with 4 great companies. And now just being able to work with the Fuente family and also with Jeremiah and his family, I would say that I feel totally accomplished. I've said in many shows, if I were to die tonight and I go up there and the old man says, well, we're going to send you down there, but you could have a choice to be a poet, a singer, an actor, a scientist. And I would say, St. Peter or God, send me back down again. And I just want to be a tobacco man all my life. So if you cut me, I don't bleed blood. What I bleed is essential oils from the tobacco.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I don't know what to say. It's no better words to finish that chat with you. And again, I can't just say how thankful I am to the show we've done and literally speechless.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm extremely thankful, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time, and your patience has been just incredible. I know we've had a few issues with the Zoom and trying to get things sorted with the audio and everything, and you've remained extremely patient through the whole thing. And
Well,
thank you so much.
well, to me, look, I've seen Ray in a lot of chats. He's very passionate about it. And when he wrote to me and said, we want you to be our first guest, I said, absolutely. Because I believe in people who are devoted, that are dedicated, that are passionate. And both of you are. And I wish you all the best. And it won't be my first and last time. As time goes by, towards the end of the year, we will probably have a show talking about how COVID has, the impact that COVID has had, what to look for the future. So, and I know you will have some other guests on the show. And the only thing that I can say on behalf of Fuente International and Jeremiah and Carlito and the family that I'm honored to be on the show, and anything that we could do to help you guys spread the love, we're more than willing to support and help you guys.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. Ray and I just speechless in how thankful we are, and Alex as well. I mean, he hasn't got a microphone, so unfortunately.
I really am speechless.
Honestly, the deepest of thanks to you for taking the time.
No, you're more than welcome. And like I said, keep safe, keep preaching the love. Remember that our industry is the best industry in the world. Basically 3 things. You're not judged by the color of your skin. You're not judged by religious beliefs, or if you're smoking a $3 bundle, or you're smoking a $50 cigars. We're all the same. We're just a big family with a lot of love and a lot of passion for what we do. So guys, wishing you all the best. Good night, and looking forward to see you guys one day, maybe in person, and who knows, maybe share at Don Carlos Lancero.
That would be amazing.
That would be one of the dreams.
That is definitely the dream.
Take care, Jose.
Thank you so
Big
much.
hug and
Thank you
kisses
very
to
much.
the family.
Good night, guys.
Take
Okay,
care.
thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
So, guys, I can take off the headphone now.
I can take off my headphones.
I hope you enjoy it and appreciate the time Jose spent with us. I believe 2 hours of his time is a lot. As you can understand, he's very, very valuable member of the community of the whole tobacco industry, and it's been an honor for us to be part of the show. I'm really sorry if we didn't manage to answer any of the questions or something. We still have about 10-15 minutes usually. If you have some questions particular to us, to me or Usman, fire fire up away the question, and if you guys like that kind of session, we want to bring more people in the show.
Definitely.
And we want to do something which I never seen in any show, and that is one thing which people start talking quite often and recently, especially in the lockdown, how also the women's influence the industry and where the powerful women's in the industry and everything. So we will try every guest. So we will have equal number of females and equal number of males. So next guest, the aim will be to be some interesting woman, which we can talk about.
I know.
And after that will be again men, women. So we want to be absolutely equal, despite the fact we don't have women around us. We want our guests to be absolutely equal to that kind of stuff, and to see actually that it's a lot of interesting women we can talk about, cigars, stuff, and everything.
Definitely. And yeah, this has been quite the honor. Ray, thank you so much for arranging this.
It's your birthday present.
Everyone saying happy birthday.
No, please
Usman
don't.
birthday, and
for the
Happy
love.
birthday.
you see how Usman basically ran the show. He asked about the Cigar Aficionado, the Gurkha. I was sure he gonna ask that questions. I was absolutely sure he gonna nail that questions. But you see how the real diplomat is basically Jose being very diplomatic and honest, I believe.
I think that one of the points.
Says happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. But anyway, I think he clarified something which I think that we can take as absolutely true, and that is that to assume that Cigar Aficionado charges people to try and get into the top 25, it's a little bit of hokum, really. It doesn't make sense. I mean, he's confirmed that himself.
Well, back in that topic, it's not something which I want to talk again and stuff, but few things. There always will be companies in top 25, despite the fact if they're advertising, if they're not advertising, if they're the best companies of quality, if they're not. Habanos don't advertise, but they're always there. Even with a few cigars, they win a few times. They always will be there. So it's two sides of the coin.
No, I think that we can quite comfortably put that rumor to bed. But anyway, let's not get into that. I think.
Is there anything interesting in the chat, Alex?
Yeah,
there was a question which was a little bit too late for me to ask.
Oh, damn. We're really sorry about that.
Essentially, can you develop your palate, or are you stuck with what you've got?
No, you could definitely develop your palate.
You can develop your palate. If you look at the show at the beginning, I asked similar question, Jose, how you can develop your palate, basically, and the best answer he says, just smoke as many different cigars as possible. Then you can start picking a different taste, and that's the way to develop palate. That's what I know. That's why I'm doing what I'm smoking. The cigars I'm smoking. I basically smoke a different cigar every day just because I want to move different tastes in my mouth, and maybe not all the cigars are great. Some of them are awful, but I've been in the experience, so I know which one is awful. And next time, if I need to blind tasting cigar, I will recognize it's an awful cigar.
I do have a suggestion.
And you can tell us what to smoke.
Yeah.
I do have a suggestion when it comes to developing the palate. So a lot of people, when they're smoking, they tend to smoke cigars whilst they're doing something, and they're focusing more on the actual act of what they're doing as opposed to focusing on the cigar. And that's perfectly fine, obviously. Some people smoke cigars just to kind of enjoy it whilst they're doing something perfectly reasonable, not a problem at all. But if you're trying to develop your palate, then you do need to focus on that. You do need to kind of focus. It's similar to when you're like enjoying food and you're trying to appreciate a particular dish. You do have to concentrate on what you're eating, concentrate on what you're smoking, and have a particular focus on that, because our perception. Let me finish.
Agree and disagree.
I'll let you, because I know I kind of know what angle you're gonna. Okay, I don't, but okay, but the reason I say that is because we have a limited amount of things we can focus on. In fact, I think proper focus, we can only focus on one thing at a time, right, Alex? Effectively, no?
What? Sorry, I wasn't
Doesn't
paying attention.
But our focus and our attention has limits, and how much we kind of put towards certain tasks will limit how much we can focus on other things. And there have been studies that have described how multitasking is a farce. it's a complete farce. You can either focus on one thing or focus on another. That's kind of generally how things go. We can't really focus on multiple things effectively at the same time. So if you're trying to develop your palate and you're trying to kind of get a good understanding of what cigar flavors are and how cigars are, what the taste and the flavors are, then you do have to focus on it. You do have to concentrate on it. Not religiously, not like sitting there and trying to like, get every little bit of minutia out of it. But I mean having a certain degree of attentiveness in order to be able to, one, develop your palate, and two, also kind of understand what you're getting as well. That's what I think.
As I say, I'm agree and disagree.
Okay,
I'm agree if you smoke a new cigar, probably interesting cigar, you wanna do nothing and just enjoy the cigar, reading the cigar is what I say. But a great example, last weekend I have to do a lot of physical work in my shed and stuff, and I just decided to get a random cigar from the pile. I get a Recluse, which is not very familiar cigar, Recluse OTG, which is a 2013 release cigar, and I lit it, and after the first few puffs, I was so, even my hands was so dirty in everything, and I just realized how amazing is that cigar. And literally the whole time when I was working, every puff I start thinking about the cigar. I'm doing all kind of stuff, measure stuff, cut stuff, whatever. But every puff, because the cigar was so good, I didn't expect it at all. I was thinking it would be because it's old cigar, probably not so good, just carry on smoking, normal smoke. So amazing cigar, and I just constantly thinking about the cigar. And I was, every puff, appreciate that smells, aromas, and everything. And it's, again, I appreciate the cigar, despite the fact I was doing completely different stuff of smoking and, doing actual
But then that
stuff.
does come down to like experience as well. For example, with driving, when you first start driving, you have to focus on each individual aspect. But then as you become more proficient, you learn basic, you have like certain automatic motor
Says the
skills.
guy who doesn't drive.
I'm using it as an example, right? I'm using it as an example. Certain things become more
How
natural.
do you know
to
what
come-
you need to do when you're driving?
The point remains, okay? Okay, you know
I'm
what?
not sure it's the best analogy.
Okay, photography, okay?
That's
Screw you
what I was
guys.
looking for.
Yeah, we need to
Right,
pick up all
when
the
you
main
first-
points.
When you first start, in any task, you have to spend a lot more time to try and get used to certain things and develop the skills. But as you develop those skills, they kind of become second nature. So Ray, you've been smoking cigars for a long time, and you've also smoked a heck of a lot of cigars. You've built those skills. But if you're starting out, you may not necessarily have that. So then you may need to spend that extra amount of time and focus. So I guess that's why you're disagreeing and agreeing. But I think we agree on both points, but I think we're looking at it from a slightly different angle. So if you're experienced, you could get away with that comfortably because you've got the motor skills.
I would say I'm experienced, but I also say that I take the cigar which I didn't expect to be good.
But you do have an inordinate amount of experience when it comes to smoking cigars. So it's a different category. But if you're starting out, it may not necessarily be the same. You're not going to be able to focus on the individual flavors, or you may not necessarily be able to focus on the individual flavors as effectively and also be able to do other things. So I think it's like a muscle. You just got to train it a little bit.
I believe for every new smoker, the cigar in the first place need to be enjoyable stuff. Not a habit, not a need to be enjoyable. So when you enjoy, when you're probably quiet,
Definitely.
watching movie or reading book, or even just sitting in the garden and watching the birds or whatever, if you enjoy that kind of situation, carry on, enjoy it. But
Yeah.
it need to be enjoyable in the beginning. Maybe
Oh,
after
yeah,
that, it's
definitely.
become more as a, I want to smoke because I want to taste and
Yeah.
stuff in some point. But in the beginning, it's a pure enjoyment.
I do you know what? That's exactly what I did. I kind of just sat back and just enjoyed the cigar. I didn't mess about with what does this taste like or anything like that. I just smoked it. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that one.
Go for that.
We have a question which is quite related to this from a new commenter, Cigar Cave Nada. I'm going to mispronounce that, sorry. Hello.
He's got blonde hair.
Who is entitled to be a cigar aficionado, and what do you need to know?
I've seen that question in the past lives. Okay, what is a cigar aficionado? What is an aficionado? Someone which enjoy the act. Cigar aficionado is someone which enjoys cigar. Everyone is cigar aficionado. Me,
Anyone who
Usman,
enjoys-
Alex,
yeah.
even if it's your first cigar and you enjoy it, you're a cigar aficionado. You don't need to be cigar geek, cigar sommelier, cigar knowledgeable guy or anything. You can be cigar aficionado if you smoke one cigar a month,
Yeah.
one cigar a year. You're still cigar aficionado.
Completely agree.
So
Absolutely.
Cigar aficionado is just maybe another fancy terminology for a cigar smoker. But if you appreciate them, if you enjoy the cigars, doesn't matter if it's a Gurkha, Cuban, non-Cuban, Nicaraguan, Honduras, Chinese.
Except
If you
Gurkha.
enjoy them, you're a cigar aficionado.
Do you know, yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that
Connoisseur, I guess. Slightly.
possibly,
Yes, kinda,
yeah.
but always been aficionado, and I always say I am not an aficionado, I am passionado, because I am passionate about it. I'm not only
You
enjoying
had to
it.
take you one level up, didn't you?
I enjoy it, but it's my passion. It's always been, in the last many years, always been a passion, and
Yeah.
I enjoy them, but it's, as I say, it's a passion. It's nothing drive me crazy if I see a cigar and I've never seen before, and I just want to, I want that cigar. And Usman's camera is off. Now it's just me. You can hear Usman's voice, but
Is
it's
my
just
voice
me.
still going through? Okay, so I can start using middle fingers everywhere now.
No, don't use the middle fingers. I think we're pretty much on time. If there is no any final question, Tos, I will probably say the final words.
No, I want to say the. Okay, fine.
You say your final words. Come on, go ahead.
Okay, well the camera's
Shea
gonna be on
butter.
your. See? Oh, come on! I did use some today.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to look at Ray smoking a cigar right now, while I'm talking, which probably is a good thing for some people. Yeah, no, I'm very thankful for today. It was a huge honor to have Jose join us, and for you guys watching us and throwing in your questions. That was really I properly Ray, Alex, and we all really appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to watch the show and ask your questions, and it means a lot. It really does mean a lot. You have no idea how thankful we are for the support, and we get a lot of messages on Instagram and everything where so many of you are putting up stories saying that you're watching us and throwing compliments our way. It's honestly it's a huge honor. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yes, it's. I would say thank you again for watching us and commenting. Thanks for all the comments we have for the Davidoff video. We sorry that we've been so late with the uploading and the small technical issue we have with it, but the video is on. We're doing great. I'm pretty sure the people like it. I've received a lot of positive comments and really appreciate that. We will film another show. We're not gonna say yet who's be the other guest. We'll be surprised. We'll announce it probably in some point, but we already have something in plan. Will be another interesting person from the industry, and hopefully we will manage to reveal soon who will be our guest in the next month show with the special guest. And
because it's kind of confirmed, but let's get it locked in properly.
When everything is done, we'll confirm.
Because they've confirmed it already, but we just want to get that,
So
the absolute confirmations first.
any questions, any advice, any topics, anything, send us a question, send us a stuff, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere you can
Make
find us.
sure you're following Ray. His Instagram, it's in the description, isn't it? Yeah. So make sure you're following Ray as well. And Ray's doing a regular live stream every Friday. What time do you do the live stream? Do you want to tell them?
7 usually. It's
UK time.
It's just a little non-official chat in my Instagram channel. People who know me, they can join and ask me other questions, banter with me and stuff.
So 7:30 Friday UK time. Ray generally sits outside, enjoying a cigar, and it's a great time to catch him and have kind of like basically a one-to-one with the guys. As you know, the guy's a freaking ocean of knowledge, So make sure you follow him on Instagram. I highly recommend you join. I try and join as often as I can, but I can't join on every single occasion. But yeah,
He's
make
busy
sure you follow.
editing the videos.
I am. Weirdly, I am.
Right, guys.
Follow us on
thank you very
Instagram.
much.
Thank you so much. Ray, you can do the outro.
Smoking your cigars. Don't keep them in the boxes. I'm not gonna stop repeating that. You know the drill. Smoke them, or someone else will smoke them. Life is short.
Tell them what happens if they don't smoke it.
someone else will smoke them.
No. Tell them what happens.
Someone else will smoke them, especially if you're a married guy and you leave a widow behind. There's a guy called Widow Collector, but that's another topic on the show. Let's not take again. Take care, guys. Peace.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Bye.